Oh, Harry Maguire, we love you. No VAR. Mwah, mwah. Because I tell you what, that was like pulling teeth watching United for the majority of that game. But United winning it 2-1. I tell you what, Amorim, the performances are not there, but the results are. What's that, 6 wins in our last 7? And we were dog shit in that first half. We were turgid for the overwhelming majority of that game. Garnacho's impact on that game was massive. But Maguire coming up with the Fergie time winner, a wonderful ball from Bruno. And look, VAR, and this might just be me saying this after, I don't really think it is though. I would much rather be pissed off that decisions like that go against us sometimes where it's slightly offside, like Drogba was 9 yards offside for Chelsea all those years ago, than scrapping over millimetres on VAR. I'd much rather it be because it would swing and it would just come back to you. But anyway, sod VAR. United, that goal got us out of a hole because that first half was as bad as it has been. 0 ball carrying, 0 threat, just limp noodles everywhere. Maguire, well done, man. We did a video earlier on him this season about the fact that he has come through and navigated so much. And he came up clutch there right at the end. It was a performance, and let's be totally honest, the main takeaway from this game is not going to be positive, and I'm going to focus on that after I've get the positives out of the way. The fact that we won 2-1, the fact that we're in the 5th round, the fact that Garnacho came off the bench there and made such a difference. And you know what the difference was? It was a directness. It was a square up to the defender. Sod that. Instead of passing it to someone else, I'm going to take on a little bit of responsibility. Now, of course, it's a little bit easier to do that in attacking positions than it is to carry it 5-10 yards out of defence. But that lack of ball carrying in that first half was awful. And it meant that we were so easy to play against. You had a box midfield that was going around Bruno and Ugarte. We couldn't get the ball to them. It was sideways to the rest of them. But Maguire came up clutch at the end. And the result is what matters right now. We are in results territory. And I'll tell you what, we're going to be in results territory for the rest of the season. I don't really see how a massive shift is going to be happening. Because I tell you what, Xerxes coming off the bench as well, getting a goal, right place, right time. Some nice footwork from him. And I tell you what, I'll zoom in on him here. Højlund, man. Another game that massively passed him by. And a game where Xerxes came up clutch with a goal. So that's Xerxes probably starting for the game against Spurs, as he should. But the main takeaway from this game is I watched the majority of the game like that. Calling us turgid for that first half is such a compliment because it was way worse than that. And I tell you what, right? Ruben Amorim made some really weird decisions tonight, all right? And a lot of them revolved around these two. I'm going to speak about Dorgu. His first half performance, and he got hooked at halftime, and that was part of the confusion. He played on the right-hand side. That was the main part of the confusion. Now, if you look at how he's played at Lecce this season, a lot of times he's operated as the right winger. Presumably, Amorim's decision was to make Ahmad and Dorgu the threat on that right-hand side. But because we had Dalot on the left-hand side, look, it almost felt like United were actively avoiding playing through the left-hand side because Diogo Dalot was there. He is better as a right wing-back. Across the course of his United career, I would be amazed if Dorgu is not better as a left wing-back. But Amorim decided to play him on the right-hand side. Is that because he's just had more game time in that position, on that flank this season? I don't know. I'll be completely honest. But having Dalot there on the left was hurting us so badly. Mainu was completely invisible because the ball was going nowhere near that left flank. And we were just passing it round Yoro, Mazraoui, Maguire. Ugarte and Bruno were getting marked out of the game. It goes to Dorgu. It goes back to the back three. And it was just it was almost like a pirate ship, just a pendulum just swinging back and forth with no real threat whatsoever. And then to add to the confusion, Dorgu got taken off at half-time. I'm going to presume that's just Amorim protecting his players. But given that Dorgu was one of our actual... it's not very hard, man. He was brighter than the rest of the players. I'm surprised he took him off. Ultimately, we got the result. All right, so that's what we can take forward. But there's just so much of that performance that just has to change. And it's the... people are going to talk about the back five setup. The system is wrong. The system is that... There is no... You really think I've got that much more confidence if all of a sudden we switch to a 4-2-3-1? Oh, the penny's dropped. Oh, great, we're so much better. No, not at all. These players have got to take a bit of fucking responsibility. And I'm talking about ball carrying. And this is a big reason why I want to see Dorgu on the left-hand side in his natural position. I'm guessing that Amorim wanted him to cut inside from the right, but I want him to be carrying that ball because every time we have the ball, and it's going to be this case all season on because Martinez is gone and he's our chief progressor as far as the 3 centre-backs go. I want Dorgu to be able to square up and skip past his man, knock it past him, carry the ball 5 to 10 yards. That was a big thing that Garnacho was doing, was ball carrying. Instead of get the ball, pass it to someone else, it's get the ball, I'll take it forward 5, 10 yards. By doing that, you drag teams out of positions and others can walk into those positions because for the majority of that game, let's be totally honest, Leicester had what seemingly looked like 5 yards of space every single time they had the ball. Whether it was in midfield, playing through a press which was non-existent, it was half-assed. It was just painful to watch United try and play football because there was no football being played. And yeah, I think a big part of that was playing Diogo Dalot as the left wing-back. I never wanted to see it again when Dorgu came in. And to play 2 players, arguably, not arguably, I would say out of position, when he could have just done them on the other side, that was a really odd decision from Amorim. I think when you're looking at the striking options, he went with Højlund there tonight. And you could have gone for Xerxes, and Xerxes made an impact off the bench. And I'll tell you what, you can let me know in the chat, right? Do you think that Garnacho should be starting, or is Garnacho at his best still in a United shirt like there, off the bench, making a difference, making an impact, because he made a massive impact. And I want to go back to it again, but all credit to Maguire for that header. And look, if that happened against us, I'd be foaming at the mouth that an offside header, because there's no VAR, went against us. I really, really would be. I really would. It dug us out of a hole. We got the result there tonight, and now there's 9 days until Spurs, right? And I've said this whole time, well, this is where Ruben Amorim, we need to see these players coming into actually playing the system properly, because for 60 minutes against Southampton, we won that 3-1, and it was like pulling teeth for the majority. We won that game 2-1, and it was like pulling teeth for the majority. Even our wins almost feel like losses because of the emotions that you've got coming out of it. Old Trafford booing at half-time. This first season is not going to really be about performances, is it? It's going to be about the results, and we got what mattered there tonight. But for me, I want to see, well, first of all, I want to see Dorgu playing left wing-back. I thought that was an odd decision. Even saying that, he was one of our brighter players. So fair play to Dorgu on his debut. I think he played well. I think he can be happy with himself. Something's going to have to improve. Whether it's confidence in ball carrying, whether it's figuring out a way to actually, you know what I thought we should have been doing? Knocking balls over to the fullbacks and trying to win the second balls. We were hardly winning any second balls there tonight. Ultimately, it doesn't matter. We got the result. We're through to the 5th round. Maguire, no VAR. Rest of that game, though, let's be honest.